Today we are meeting in the gathering room. So the last time was around the giving tree, and today in the gathering room, so we can see all parts of the church. And who knows where I'm going to be recording the next time I see you. So let's get to it. Today's lesson is called Jesus and the Children. So I have a question for you. What do you think what is something that you think you do that you think is funny? What is something that you do that you think is funny? Let's see. I'm going to give you like 2 seconds so you can think about it. Because I know what I do and I think it's funny. And I'm going to show you and you'll be the judges. So I do a really cool fish face. This is my fish face. Ha! What do you do? Just do it right there where you are. Well, do you think, this is another question. Now, a better one. Who do you think likes to laugh the most or have fun the most? Kids or grown-ups? This is an easy one. Kids or grown-ups? Who do you think is better when it comes to having fun or when it comes to laughing? I think kids. And I'm a grown-up. But I think it's kids. And then I have another question. What do you think kids could teach grown-ups? I bet you have a few answers for that one. What do you think kids would be able to teach grown-ups? Well, I would think that it would be nice if grown-ups learn from kids how to have fun, and how to be kinder to people without judgments. I think those two things children should teach adults, or adults should learn from children. But today's lesson is called Jesus and the Children. Jesus, let me stand up. This is getting on the way. So, okay. So, Jesus, most of his time, he spent teaching grown-ups. He spent teaching about the kingdom of God, right? And most of the time it was to grown-ups. He was teaching all around the city. And wherever he went, grown-ups gathered around. Always. That would happen always. He would start with a small group, and all of a sudden, he had a big group because adults started hearing that Jesus was around and they wanted to listen to what he had to say. So this story is about one time Jesus is talking to a group of adults, grown-ups, and other grown-ups started gathering because they wanted to listen to what Jesus was teaching. And we need to understand this. Jesus was always surrounded by his disciples. But Pastor, Who are these disciples? Well, the disciples were a group of friends that were learning from his teachings. And these group of men and women would follow him wherever he go. Okay? So those were his disciples. And the disciples loved Jesus very, very, very much, and they didn't want anything to happen to Jesus. So they would protect him, even from people. They would protect him. And sometimes they would protect him a little too much. And they wouldn't allow new people to get near Jesus because they were so protective of Jesus. That's what we noticed in the video that you already saw. New people, as soon as they started hearing that Jesus was teaching, new people started gathering and they wanted to get near so they could listen to Jesus. And then, first the disciples didn't like those new people getting near. And Jesus started letting these new groups to get near. Well, then he would continue teaching, and all of a sudden a new group of people would join, and the ones that he just received started getting angry with the disciples about these new people coming near, and Jesus would have to again interrupt his teachings just to let the new ones get closer, get near to him so they could listen. And that happened a few times. And I bet Jesus was getting annoyed about it. Well, sometimes that's how we grown-ups are. So Jesus kept getting interrupted and telling the new ones to get closer. And letting the other ones know, like, it was okay. It's cool. Chill. So, until one group comes near, or better yet, comes barging in. Do you know what group of people, who were those that came here at the last moment? The children. They weren't grown-ups. They were children. So children came barging in, running, laughing, and jumping. And then it was like the end of the world. All the adults freaked out. All the adults lined up in front of Jesus to protect him from the children. Do you know why the grown-ups had that weird reaction? Weird to us? Well, the thing that we do not know, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about, is that during Jesus' time, children were not that important. Adults, grown-ups, were more important than children. Well, that's something that doesn't happen anymore, or shouldn't happen anymore. For us, children, we say, come first. But back then, many years ago, children were not important, only grown-ups. So the grown-ups thought that the kids would bother Jesus. So that's what they were trying to prevent. They wanted Jesus to continue teaching, and they didn't want the children to interrupt Jesus or to maybe bother Jesus. They didn't ask Jesus if the children bothered him, but they lined up in front of Jesus. And I'm going to make a pause here. Have you ever felt like that? Like adults think that you are bothering Sometimes we do that. And we just have to be patient with adults and be loving and understanding. I know sometimes it's difficult, but this happened in this story. And so the funny thing is that, how do you see the kids react? Did the kids stop running and like, oh, we cannot get near? Do you think, or did you see the kids doing that? I did not. The kids ran through the adults basically, and they reached out to Jesus. To their surprise, to the adults, to the grown-up surprise, Jesus welcomed, and not only welcomed, blessed and played, had fun with the children. Why do you think Jesus received the kids and even played with them? Why do you think Jesus did that? I'm going to tell you something. This is something that Jesus said, and it's really, really, really important. And we can never, ever, 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 no matter what grown-ups tell us, this is something that we never, ever, 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 ever can forget. Even though children weren't important back then, Jesus said that the kingdom that he was teaching about belonged to the children. And even more, he said that if adults wanted to be part of the kingdom that he was teaching about, adults needed to be like children. Ain't that awesome? Adults, grown-ups needed to be like children, needed to receive others like children, needed to, even the people that you do not know, adults needed to love like children, no matter what, and be kind to others, just like children. So that's something you guys can teach us. Well, it's time to read the story. So the story is called On Tippy Toes. And now I'm gonna sit down. On Tippy Toes. You're getting so tall. That's what Mom and Dad say. But I couldn't see over the grown-ups today. I heard Jesus talking. The crowd listened too. But what did he look like? I hadn't a clue. I craned and I strained and I stood tippy toes. My legs started hurting. My questions arose. Was he hairy and burly? Was his beard soft and curly? Did he shimmer with light? Were his eyes extra bright? We don't know. I wasn't the only one trying to see. The big people elbowed. Oh, Jesus, pick me. It's my turn. No, me first. Grown-ups argued real quick, but weren't they surprised when they saw Jesus pick? It was me on his knee, Jesus' hands on my head. I'll always remember the words Jesus said. I love little children. They're biggest of all. the last will be first, and the least hear me call. That was a great story, don't you think? So, the craft, it's not really a craft for today. Do you like playing game boards? I love playing game boards. I don't do it as often, but our craft, this one, if you open it, you're gonna see like a path, like the one we see in game boards, and they have instructions, and they have a starting point, right, and a finish point. We are gonna take our scissors, and we are gonna cut, guess where? On the blue lines, right? Across the blue lines. So wherever you see a scissor, just like this, you are gonna cut. I am gonna cut, to make it easier, I'm gonna cut first this line. Okay? Just to make it easier. Then I'm gonna put this one on the side, and then I'm gonna start cutting. Once you start cutting, and once you're done, I should say, you're gonna have like something similar to cards, right? You know that some game boards have cards? Well, these cards have like instructions. See? Twirl and fall over, jump like a monkey. So they all have different things that you should do if you happen to pick this card or whatever card. Once you cut all the squares, these are going to be the cards that you're going to be picking if you land on a square like this that says draw a card. So the only thing that you don't have right now and you would need to get, if you go to one of your game boards or you ask your parents for permission to go to one of your game boards, you're gonna find a pair of dice. So that's important because with the pair of dice, you're gonna know how many squares you're gonna be, how many squares are you gonna be counting, and you're gonna know where are you gonna be landing. So these are the cards. Once you cut them, these are the cards, and you're gonna put them like on a stack. And then this other part, these little squares are your characters, okay? So let's do one real quick. So let's say I am this guy here. Let's say I am this guy here. And I roll the dice, right? I roll the dice. I start here. I roll the dice, and they say, I don't know, 5. Well, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see, 5 says draw a card. So I'm gonna go to the pile of cards that we cut, and I'm gonna pick one. And it's gonna say, this one says, twirl and fall over. Do I have to? Well, I should do that. Let's see if that works. Let's see. Let's see. The card said twirl and fall over. So I twirl and I'm back. So that we're gonna do. And the first person to reach the end, to reach Jesus, wins the game. So let's close with a prayer. And you're going to do it just like I'm going to do it. Oy. Let's do it just like I'm going to do it. So repeat after me. Dear God, thanks for this day when we can play. We all love you and Jesus too. Amen. I don't know. I think it's better this way. It's funnier. It's Jesus gets it. So, see you next week. Oh, before I leave you, this weekend or either Friday or Saturday, today is Thursday, you are going to be receiving in front of your house the new packet. This packet is going to include the lessons for Holy Week. That means Palm Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter Sunday. So keep an eye on it, and I'll see you then. Blessings. Bye-bye.